Hello. Okay. Okay, grade 9. Sophia, are you there? I'm waiting for you. Okay, let's start the lesson. So today's lesson is a grammar lesson, unit 28, the last lesson of the grammar lesson. Okay, we're going to work on page 110 till 113. So as usual, I'm going to give the grammatical theoretical part, and we're going to work on exercise, and then that will be it. Okay, let's start the lesson. So today's lesson is about relative clause. What is a relative clause? Relative clause, we define them in divide them in two parts, which is defining and non-defining. Okay, defining and non-defining. So here, as you can see here, defining and non-defining clauses. Here, so we can give it additional information about the noun, using two types of clause, which is defining and non-defining relative clause. Okay, so and our relative RCs, means relative clause, can present subject or object of its clause, the clause. They start with who or which, but both can be replaced by that. So what does that mean? What does that mean? So here, I'll try to explain over here. The first car the car which I bought was a Honda. So let's have a look at it. This is our, this is the defining the clause. So how? The first car, that define about the car, especially the first car, which I bought, is it, your subject is over here. Let's say here, subject. Here is a verb, and this is your object. So I bought was a Honda. No, sorry, this is the mistake over here. The main verb is over here, was. Verb and object. This is the object. So the first car, which I bought. Now this one is defining about the car. Which one? The one which I bought first time was a Honda. So here in this sentence, we're defining the car, which is Honda object. Which car was it? It was a Honda. Honda was the first car. So Sarah, who invited us as a psychiatrist. So here have a look at this one here. Who? Sarah. We're defining about the Sarah. Invited us is a psychiatrist. She's a psychiatrist. Sarah is a psychiatrist. This is our main sentence, right? So Sarah in this sentence is in this sentence Sarah is our subject. Is our main verb, and this one is our object. Okay, subject, verb, object. But what is this one? And here, who is in this sentence is a subject, and here is the verb. Here is the object. So let's put this sentence separately. Sarah is a psychiatrist. I will just leave it like this shortly. Another one, Sarah invited us. Sarah invited us. There are two sentences. Have a look at these two sentences. In both sentences, we have Sarah. In both sentences, we have Sarah. Okay? In both of the sentences, Sarah plays as a role of subject. Roles of, here we plays as a role of a subject. Sarah is a subject of both sentences. So in this case, we do not repeat the Sarah again. We use the defining or non-defining sentence. So now here, have a look at this part over here again. The first car which I bought was a Honda. We call them as a defining. But the second one, we will say non-defining. Why? Why is it non-defining? Why? Why is that? Because non-defining sentence, non-defining sentence, it gives extra info. Therefore, we use comma. No, we use comma, the comma. You can see over here. Over here, look, have a look at here. We're going to see here, Sarah. Sarah is a psychiatrist. This is the most important, main information. Who invited us is the extra information. Which Sarah? The one who invited us. But the car which I bought was a Honda. Here, this one is a defining sentence because this is not giving extra information. Instead, it's giving defining which car it is they're talking about. So here, which or that, as we said here, we can replace them by that. So the first car that I bought was a Honda, or the Sarah that invited us is a psychiatrist. So we can replace the who and which by that. So now let's continue over here. Here, defining relative. So defining relative, what is it? Defining relative give essential information. You see that? Essential information about the noun. For example, the noun is car. The Honda. Honda is the car, the noun. What kind of essential information we're giving? The one which the first which I bought. Okay. Hold on. First which I bought here. Okay. Hold on, I mixed up here. The first car was a Honda. This is your main subject. Sorry, hold on. I'm mixing over here. Sorry. Here is the first car is your subject. First car was Honda. But which in this sentence is subject and no, sorry. The first car I bought was Honda, and then the which I bought was Honda. The first car is here our defining sentence. This one is non-defining sentence. The main subject is here. The first car. First car we use it as a which. So now here the defining relative gives essential information, as I said. The man that who spoke last night was scientist. Okay, the man who spoke last night. The man was a scientist, which meant that I spoke last night is a scientist. The man was a scientist. This is our main sentence. Now, what is the name of the shop that sells? The shop sells your favorite coffee. This is the main part. I have read the book that you lent me. That you lent me. You lent me is your relative clause, okay? And this one is giving extra information about the book. Essential information. Here the essential information about what's the name of the shop is the question, right? What's the name of this is the main question, but which or that tells you the coffee shop. So have a look at here. We omitted the who, which, and who in which. We replace them by that over here. That. So this gave essential information. Okay, the next page over here. What is a non-defining clause? Non-defining clause give useful information, useful extra information about a noun. It is separated from the rest by comma. Sorry. So how is it? This is give information. Both of them, they give information, but the defining sentence gives essential information, but the non-defining gives extra information, useful extra information. For example, Jimi Hendrix, who transformed rock music in this short life, was born in 1942. Jimi Hendrix was born in 1942. This is the main idea. But this one is giving the some in case information or some extra information. So as always, we say that extra info, which info always is separated by comma. So you can see there is a comma here, comma here. So next one, I could give you give your short your group a short talk on Mexico. I can give your group a short talk on Mexico. Okay, short talk on Mexico, which I know from many visit. Here we used, instead of a comma, extra info goes with the comma with the full stop. Why? Because first one is in middle of sentence, this one is in middle of the sentence. In the mid, if it comes middle of the sentence, we're going to use it two comma. If it comes at the end, we use comma with full stop. So next one, we also, as well as who, that, which, we can use whom, whose, where and when and what and why to give additional information about a person or thing. For example, whose is possessive. So as who, for example, now, Sophie, you're not hearing me, right? So, possession, which one would you use? Possession, I would use whose, right? Location or place, I would use where. Time, if it's about the time, when. Reason, what would you use? If it's a reason, any reason. Why, to give a reason, we would say why. The thing, what, or that. What about as a person? As a person, we're going to use as who. Okay, I hope you understand. It's clear enough for you guys. Okay, so let's start again. Here, defining sentence gives essential information. It's essential information. In this case, we don't need to use any. Here, we don't use no comma, no commas. Okay, and then we can replace the who and which by. We can replace who and which with the that. Okay. Okay, so now next one. Over here. Next one. Non-defining. How is the non-defining? Non-defining is here. We use commas here. If you can see here, comma. We use a comma. We use here comma and here another comma. And it gives extra information. It gives extra information. Extra information. Okay. So, and also we use who and that and which and whom with as well as whose, where and where to give additional information. So which I have told you: position, location, time, and reason and thing. Okay. So next page, next slide, have a look. Now, the president whom we met at lunch was optimistic about the current climate talk. So here we have extra information. I'm going to circle extra information with this oval shape. Okay, but here, HSBC is a bank whose profits are on the rise. Here, this is essential information. That's why I'm going to circle it in a square. Okay, so this is the spot where I lost my wallet, not which. Why? It's essential information. Why? It's given a special information about the spot. So in 2008, when you were working in Holland, did you get up to the north coast? So when this part is, this part is non-defining, which gives extra information, which is a non-defining, okay, as well as the non-defining pronoun is here. So I didn't like what he said. What he said is essential. That's why I will put it in a square. What I'm hoping for is a nice, quiet holiday. Do you see that here? Emphasize that comes here. The defining pronoun comes here. What? When we use it in emphatic way, emphasizing that you can use it at the beginning of the sentence. So what is a nice, quiet holiday? What I'm hoping for is a nice holiday. This is essential. So this is the reason why or that the Labour Party lost the last election. Again, this is essential part of the story, of the clause. That's why we're going to circulate as in the square. It is the reason why we go back every year on our anniversary. This is why it's given the reason. At the same time, it gives additional information. Okay, additional information. Okay. Okay, so I hope it's now clear enough for you guys. So let's move on to our exercises, I think. Over here. Making it clear when we need to clear what we mean. Okay, so here what we're going to do, we use the information in the bracket to make a relative clause using that relative clause. That relative, if you need one, but leave it out altogether if it's as a first of, as in the first example, if it's possible. So let's see. I can find the lecture ones you gave me. Once you gave me them. Okay, give me. Have you seen them anywhere? They are the ones that you explain the causes of inflation. They explain the causes of inflation. So we're going to drop what we're going to make necessary alteration. So here, they were in the kitchen when you were making the Japanese recipe. So you downloaded it. So what we're going to add here, we can write it here. You download it. You download it. Japanese recipe, you download it. So thanks. Talking about Japan, can you remember the name of the band? Okay. They made the album Tokyo Storm. The band. So if it's that, we need to define the word that. I mean the band of the band word here. We need to define this word. So which band? That band, or so how are you going to define it? You're going to say that made the album. Okay. They made the album. I think it was Human Machine, wasn't it? Why? Linda said they are playing at the Club 24 next month. I thought I might get tickets from the website. It offers discount. So which website are we talking about? That offers, first, that one offers discount. So, okay, give me one if you can. The last band, which last band? I saw it there. That I saw was horrible. So it could be nice to see something good. You know that magazine, it reviews CDs. It reviews CDs. So you know that magazines that reviews CDs. They have put the Tokyo Storm in their top 10. Really, I'm not sure that's it's that good. The singer, I really like her. At the moment, is Becky Diamond. Singer, we can say who, but with the instruction they said use that. The singer that I really like. Or you can use you can leave out that. Okay, is the Becky Diamond. Okay. So now let's see the next exercise. Okay, here. What we're going to do here, those sentences are from the guide. So you're going to place the information in the brackets, okay? In the middle of the sentence or in the number 2 only at the end. For example, let's have a look at this one. The Isle of Wight is a short ferry ride from Portsmouth. It is located just off the south coast. How did we change it? The Isle of the Wight. Okay, we defined it. Then it said which is located, which is our extra information is going as a short ferry ride from Portsmouth. Okay, next one. The Isle measures 24 miles from east to west. It is popular tourist destination. So how does it, it is. Now the word it, what we talking about? Word it, what are we talking about? We're talking about the Isle. Okay, so in this case, we're going to write it over here. The Isle, which is a popular destination, measures, and I'm going to leave the part like this because it's going to be the same. Measures 24 miles to the west. Okay, now next one. Thousands of music lovers attend the annual festival. It is held in June. Thousands of music lovers. So we're talking about it held in June. Which we're talking about? We're talking about the festival. That means we're going to define the festival. But here we talked about that object. That's why we use the, okay. So here we're going to use it as the thousands of music. Thousands of music lovers attend the annual festival, which is held in June. Okay. Okay. I'll leave it this way. Okay. The Queen Victoria was a frequent visitor, and she had the house built on the island. Victoria was a frequent visitor. She had a house built on island. So now I'm going to draw on the line. Are we talking about the visitor or are we talking about Queen Victoria? So we're going to define this Queen Victoria. And now over here, Alfred Lord Tennyson was inspired to write the poem Crossing the Bar. He, who is he? Now we need to define the he. Who is he? This is the Alfred Lord. This is the person who we need to define. That's how we're going to make a change. So those three, you're going to change it on your own, okay? So the world's first radio station was set up by Marconi. And then you can visit it in the west of the island. So which we're talking about? We're talking about Marconi or world's first radio station. Which one we're talking about? We're talking about the radio station. That means you're going to define the sentence over here to give extra information. Okay. So now, next one. C. Leaving out or replacing part of a clause, of the clause. How are we going to do that? And amend the sentence to leave out or replace the part of the relative clause. Blackstone Manor, which is situated in rural Yorkshire, is home to Bailey family. So they have changed that. They have omitted the part, which is minor, situated in rural Yorkshire. So we can leave it out. Okay, so now next one. Tourists who visit in the months of May and June are able to enjoy a colorful range of beautiful wild flowers. So here, what we're going to do, tourists who visit in the month. So tourists visiting. We can amend it like this. Instead of that one, we're going to cross out the who visit. Instead, tourists visiting. Tourists visiting the months of May and June are able to enjoy a colorful range of beautiful wildflower. So next one, the owner, George Bailey, who is a local member of parliament, made his fortune in America. The owner, George Bailey. And then in this case, we don't need to say this who is again here, over here, because which is not totally not necessary. Bailey, George Bailey, a local member of parliament, made his fortune in America. That means the owner made his fortune in America. His daughter, the actress Georgina Bailey, lives in a cottage which was built for her in the gardens of Manor. So here, his daughter, who is that one? The actress Georgina Bailey lives in a cottage. It looks okay. Cottage, which was built. I'm going to omit this part. Which was built for her in the gardens of Manor, because why? It's explaining, giving me too much detail, and not necessary. It's a repeating. So number 4, Robert Whiting who was writing about the manor in the Times, described it is the most beautiful country in the House of Britain. So here, who was, again, who was Robert Whiting writing about, okay, anyone who travels in Yorkshire in summer should spend an afternoon there. Anyone who travels. Omit it. And then we need to make it as traveling in Yorkshire, okay? So those are our amendments, how we worked on, how we have were fixed. So now let's have a look at the last part, and E and F. So here, I'm going to leave this part for you guys. Yeah, I'm going to leave it. Complete them on your own. Okay, you need to make some brain exercise on your own to make sure that's how we use it. When I say give the answers, it sounds so easy and simple, but when you do it, it's difficult. So that's why I will give you some chance to practice on your own. So here, those words are given in the box. You're going to replace them, and then that's it. Just only you don't need to make any changes. Just find the right suitable word to fill the gap. And what about the next exercise? Next one is also the missing handbag. You're going to place, which is all. I'm hoping this one quite simple. You're going to put here. What is that? If put the thick if the nothing is possible. Okay, this is the thick if it's like this, and put that if it's possible, and also fill the other spaces with what, where, which, and whose to give additional information. For example, here, are you enjoying the conference? Yes, except that I have lost my handbag, which is pretty annoying. So here, is that the white handbag you were carrying at lunch? Now here, those, is that you're going to use that, or if it's just leave it as it is, you're going to use a, if it's, is it correct? Or is it going to, you're going to write that or else. You're going to fill the rest in such way, okay? So I will leave this last exercise for you guys, and this will be your last assignment. There's a grade 9. So that's it for today. Thanks for your attention.